Okay, so we are ready to get started on the meatloaf, and I'm going to go ahead and put my meat in here. Again, this is 80-20 ground chuck, and this is not going to be 2 pounds like the recipe calls for. And I'm going to spread my meat out in a ring, leaving a well in the middle. Doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, so I can start putting my ingredients around the edge on the ring, and in the well is going to go the eggs and the milk. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting stuff around the edges. We got about a teaspoon of pepper. We got a little less than a tablespoon of salt. I don't have, the recipe called for kosher salt. We don't have kosher salt, so I just put in the other salt. And then we got a tablespoon of mustard powder, which is that ground mustard that I got at Walmart. Alright, I think at this point I'm going to go ahead and throw my eggs in the middle. That's 2 eggs. And I got 1.5 cups of panko breadcrumbs. Just going to put on the outside. Oh, seems like a lot of panko crumbs. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and throw the milk in the middle as well. That's going to be 1/2 cup of milk. That's going to go in with the egg. And I'm going to take a fork and whisk that together. Now, what does putting a well and putting the liquids in the middle do? Drop it down in the comments. I'm only doing it because it says to. Alright, what else I need to put in there? 2 tablespoons of ketchup. And then we'll use more ketchup for the glaze. Alright, I think I have everything in there. We're going to use Worcestershire sauce in the glaze, but not this. Alright, so I got the ground beef, the 2 eggs, the crumbs. Oh, the shredded grated onion. And the minced garlic. Oh, does that stink? All right. Tablespoon of brown sugar. All right, so we've got all of our ingredients in there. So with my hands, I'm actually going to just start turning this meat. I'm not going to mash it together, but just turn it. I don't have any gloves, so I'm just going to have to deal. It's actually not that bad because the fat content is lower. Or high, no, lower. I think if it was the 73-27, I think my hands would be very sticky right now. Okay, so Now we're going to form it into a log and put it in the loaf pan. We've got the oven preheated to 350. Just want to make sure everything's very well incorporated in there without smashing it. All right, I think we're good. I have no idea where the pan is. All right, so let's start building a loaf here. All right, I need to get the pan. Okay, so we got the plastic wrap in the pan. We're going to go ahead and put our loaf in there, or our meatloaf. And now we're just going to kind of press it down, get all the air bubbles out. Now, do you all, drop it in the comments, do you all bake your meatloaf in the loaf pan, or do you put it on a sheet pan? Because that's what we're going to do. We're going to tip this over on a sheet pan. All right, we're all pressed down here. All right, I'm going to wash my hands, get the sheet pan, and we'll be ready to go. All right, so I have a cookie sheet here, a sheet pan. I lined it with tin foil. I believe he lined it with parchment paper. But now we're going to go ahead and tip this on here. Just like that. And now we're going to take off the wrapping. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and throw this in the oven at 350 for 15 minutes. And while this is in the oven for the 15 minutes, I'm going to make the glaze. That 15 minutes is so that it can set the shape. And then we'll put it back in once we got the glaze on. And yeah, we'll put it back in for 45 to 50 minutes. So I'm going to put this in for 15 minutes. Okay, so for the glaze that's going to go over the meatloaf, we're going to do a 1/3 cup of ketchup. Well, let me get a time check for us. We're now at 1.5 hours and the meatloaf is officially in the oven. So I don't know if that's good or bad for 2 separate meals, but that's what we're looking at. I probably could have done some stuff different. Not sure what though, but it's working. All right, we're going to put a tablespoon of brown sugar in there. 2 teaspoons of the mustard powder. Got it right here. Again, that's the ground mustard. And 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. All right, we're just going to whisk that up together. Okay, so that's done. So we just got to wait for the 15 minutes now, and then we'll brush this over the meatloaf. And then once we get it back in the oven for 45 to 50 minutes, that'll give me a chance to clean up some of this mess. And then halfway through, I will start my French fries. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes. So now we're going to go ahead and brush our glaze on. I've been trying to get some dishes done while this was in. So we're going to brush this all over the sides on top to give it that crusty. I can actually feel a little crustiness on top already. Yeah, so this is now keep in mind during that hour-and-a-half prep time, some of the items were already made, like the mashed potatoes were made. Well, the French fries weren't made. They were just cut and getting in their time in the water and drying. Alright, looks to be covered pretty good. Alright, so we're going to put this in for another 45 to 50 minutes. Alright everyone, so this has been 45 minutes now, and I'm going to check the temperature, and we should be at 160. I've got my French fries going. I was going to start them earlier, but I thought if we get done at the same time, then I'm serving Glenn his stuff. Meanwhile, my fries are going to get cold, so I started them late. This should sit for about 10 to 15 minutes to set, but I'm going to check the temperature. I don't know if you can see it from there. Oh yeah, it's done. It's about 170 degrees right now, almost 180, so it's nearing 180 degrees. The temperature for meatloaf should be about 160. So I would say she's done. We're going to let her set for about 10-15 minutes. And I've changed my mind about the lettuce and tomato. I'm just going to leave it as the patty with cheese and bacon on it because it could get a little messy. And I really just want to enjoy the bacon taste of it. But it's still going to be good. But there it is, two completely separate meals. Right now the time is almost 6:40. Yeah, this was running late, and mine's not done, but the prep work was done very early. So yeah, I don't know quite how to time that when I'm, yeah, you know what I mean. But anyway, meatloaf is done. We're letting it set, and yeah, his mashed potatoes are ready. So yeah, there it is. Two separate meals. I'll be back with serving his meatloaf. Okay, so the mashed potatoes are on low, and got about 10 minutes or so for this to set. So I just wanted to mention, yeah, this was two completely different meals. He likes meatloaf, I don't, so I'm making my bacon cheeseburgers. Now, Glenn isn't really crazy about that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I don't mind making the two meals. Because if I just make bacon cheeseburgers, he's probably not really going to enjoy it. And if I just make the meatloaf, I'm not going to enjoy it. So, we both get what we want. And, yeah, so I don't mind making two separate meals. Lately, it's been more so than it has been. But that's okay. That's okay. So there it is. Alright everyone, so I have transferred the meatloaf to a cutting board. There is still a little bit of tin foil stuck at the bottom. So yeah. And go figure, the one time I try to not time things right, everything's getting timed right. So it's time to cut the meatloaf. My French fries just got done. That was the beeper for the timing of the setting. And yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. All right, you can see the inside there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and plate this for Glenn. I'll be back. All right, so there's Glenn's plate, some mashed potatoes and meatloaf, and I got to get my burgers going. All right, so got to get my burgers going. George Foreman is ready, and I got to warm up some green beans for Glenn. All right, everyone, so Glenn is eating. I've got my cheese trying to melt on my burgers, and my fries are done. So yeah, it was the one time I didn't want to get everything done at the same time, but it worked out that way pretty much as far as the fries. So that's okay. All right, I'm not going to eat 2 of these right now. I'm not even going to toast the roll. They're still somewhat soft. So yeah, I'm going to get my bacon cheeseburger ready. All right, everyone, so there's my bacon cheeseburger and meatloaf made in the same time. So, yeah, I'm going to sit down and enjoy this now. Other than that, there's nothing really left to go over tonight. So, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I truly appreciate the support. And with that, remember to live life, be good to yourself, and be good to others. Until next time.